Happy Saturday! Yay! How is everyone doing? Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to be here. I am so wired up. No joke. I really am. Even though some of these allergies are like really killing me. I don't know. There's just so much, like, I don't know what it is out there, but they're killing me. But it's okay. I will not let it mess up my morning because we're going to have so much fun learning. And what are we learning today?
Technology, your favorite topic forever.
I know. And I'm so lucky, y'all, to have one of the gurus that I work with on a daily basis to actually teach me some of these things and some of the aspects. But today I will have, I'll just share her with y'all. So thank you, Sia, so much for, just producing the show. Not only that, but also for enlightening me every in each single day with all the stuff that she knows in IT tech. She's a tech wizard. So should I call you wizard
Yeah,
is
no,
or
girl,
no?
girl, wait. First off, anyone that knows me knows I am not what you're trying to describe me of. I know enough concepts theoretically. I'm very ivory tower ish, but if you were to actually put me in like a data center and
Mhm.
say, make this happen, I used to tell some of my clients all the time. And full disclosure, 20 plus years tech sales, everyone. Okay. So I'm like a tech groupie, is what I affectionately like to call myself. So I know enough to be
Huh.
dangerous conceptually, but I always used to tell
Ooh,
my clients, if I can solve your technology problem, like literally me, you have bigger issues in your IT department.
I love that. Dangerously conceptually or dangerously what did you say? That was very poetic, techie. Where
What did I just
is
say?
where is Kathy Moss so she can start doing, some tech poetry? That will be pretty
Oh,
interesting. But anyways, I have Kathy right here with her book, Unspoken, y'all.
I
Make
can't
sure y'all
wait.
follow her.
I
Yes.
had a great conversation with AK Moss Kathy, and
Love her.
I don't think have you ever just talked to someone and you're like, not only I think you're cool, but you've just evoked a lot of like nostalgia in me
Yeah.
and pulled something that I never thought I'd ever have, which is I'm a Southern Californian now living in Texas. There's not a lot of country or cowboy in me, so I don't understand that culture. Talking to AK made me feel like, oh, now I understand those songs.
Like, we wanna tap into that, like, I know we all have it, I know I'm in Texas too. It's been really hard for me to get into country music. Please do not bash,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
just it's one of those things that I just you know? But as I grow older, I'm actually learning to appreciate, so I think it's an acquired taste. What do you think?
Oh yeah, it's okay. Hey, oh, she is here. Hi, Kathy, beautiful. I thought you were gonna be, girl. I thought you were out on the ranch somewhere. Okay, can I just make one more comment about Kathy, AK Moss? So when we're talking, and I
You.
texted her the next morning, and it happened to
Uh-huh.
be 8 a.m. Central, which is 6 a.m. in Oregon, where she's at, right? So I was
Yeah.
texting something, and then I said, "Oh wait." At first, I said, "Oops, sorry. I hope I didn't wake you up." And then I said, then I realized you were probably already up feeding all the baby, farm babies, and you're doing yoga or something like that. She's like, "Yep, I was." Cool.
You were just kidding, but of course, she's superwoman. Like we've had so many conversations, and like you said, she pulls at those strings that you didn't even know that you wanted to get yourself involved into like the Western life and going back to the basics and fundamentals. So I'm so happy, and I hope that you guys reach out to Kathy. Y'all will have a tour about Western life, and she's just a superwoman. She just doesn't write about it. I mean, she's
No.
lived that journey
Yes.
and
It
she
is.
still lives that journey.
I still can't wait to get to know more about her. By the way, I do want to say I do have to shout out Stephen Heisman. I am a robot from the future. I like you
Yeah.
already.
Yeah.
Connected me.
Okay, well, before it gets away from us, yeah, we always forget this, but
Yes.
let's go ahead and roll the intro and then we continue on because I'm so excited. We have so much to share with you guys and so many questions. So prep your questions because you can ask anything as long as it's, PG, right?
Oh, just
Appropriate people.
okay, ask us anything regarding technology. It's a safe space today. This is literally the time that you've always said, like, I've always wondered about this. Even AI, like, what does AI mean? And you were like, don't want to feel stupid or look stupid. This is now the time to ask those questions because we are literally going to go to the baseline of like, what is a computer? Like, so let's go with it. And so think about it while we do the intro roll, guys.
Let's go. Hey y'all, welcome to my corner. This is your girl Raquel, aka Raki. Step into our world of connections where I'm a proud Hounds of Business Pack leader, which is a community of entrepreneurs committed to sharing positivity, growing together, and never forgetting to inject some fun. Get to know amazing people in this safe space, so come and join me in my connection corner. Hey, hey, hey.
I
You know,
do.
I'm
I
always
love that chill vibe. I just oh, I'm so happy with it. It's you.
I just right? See, I mean, I think we did really great. It took a team effort, right? It takes a village. So, anyhow, guys, thank you so much for being here on a Saturday morning. You could be doing a million and one things, but you choose to be here supporting and showing up and learning because that is the value we're delivering today. We're giving you the opportunity to actually ask anything to these tech amazing wizards, even though Sia doesn't like being called that, but I think she is.
Because I'm
She's
not.
superwoman. Them giving you the opportunity to just, like just pick their brains, right? And it's
Yes.
free. Nothing is no charge. But this is what the beauty of this program does. This is a safe space. You can ask anything regarding technology. I am there with you. I do not know. I probably know a little bit of the basics, but to be honest with you, I wouldn't hold my own in a conversation. But I don't really have to because I have friends who actually do that and help me on a daily basis. And so can you. So before we get any further with that, so yeah, let's shout out a couple of people in the audience. I did see Randy. Hi, Randy. How's the hose? He's in the house. I love saying that. And OG, thank you so much for always being in support. I know Leslie Neidick. She was in Donald Cohen's show about an hour ago, or I don't know if they're still going, but shout out to you, Donald. Thank you so much for being such an amazing individual, highlighting so many wonderful folks around on this platform. And Leslie Neidick is amazing, the conflict strategist. She is the queen. I say that, the queen.
You know what it is? She is like, do you ever, like, look at people and you're like, "You're in the right profession," like, when you look at them,
Yes.
n like, they don't have to say a word, just their body language, their essence, their aura, whatever you wanna call their presence. Leslie is a conflict strategist, so she works with
Oh
organizations
gosh.
to basically address whatever big challenge, corporate culture challenge to
Mm,
create a cohesive working team or better communication, and, she's just you walk in and you almost like she like her essence is a safe space.
yeah.
Like, she's just,
Yeah.
"Oh, I confide in you."
Yeah, you know who else does that for me too as well? Stephanie Delfonso. It's just like as soon as she turns on that voice, I'm just like, okay. But it's that talent. It's a God-given talent that they're using, and I love that. So shout out to you both, Stephanie, Leslie, and Donald. I appreciate you. I love you guys. But yeah, so I mean, I know, my gosh, they're pulling up like crazy, all the comments
I
already.
know, I'm
We're
gonna pull
seeing
up a little bit
backstage.
earlier. Yeah, no, I'm gonna pull up a little bit early because 'cause I'm like, I'm already really behind, and I know, like, everyone yells at me of like, "Oh, you're 10 minutes, 14 minutes behind,"
I know,
um,
right? Okay,
so
so the first comment that popped up is Yolanda. Hey, love. I haven't talked to you in a long time. So shout out to you. Thank you for being here. And of course, he got beat. You were not the first one, Mr. Mike Ashabranner. And
yes.
happy birthday to you, lovely baby. Well, I think it's the oldest one. And hope you guys are okay. Sending you lots of love. Thank you for being here. I know you wanted to take off. You deserve a vacation. You deserve a break. Thank you so much, fearless leader, for always being there behind us. All right. Hi, Dr. Abhilash Prem Kumar. Oh, what's going on?
She was
Oh,
just
the notebook.
asking. So Dina's book,
Yes. Well,
Winning in Your Own Court, that's by Dina Lefkowitz.
yes.
Definitely
And
check it out. Love her. She's, one of our resident, hound lawyers, former lawyers that she
OG.
uh, coaches a lot of folks, either going in
Yeah.
or out of the legal profession, which is, by the way, you don't have to be in the legal industry. This book is actually a really great read. So love Dina, really thoughtful.
Yes, and see, this is the beauty of what we were talking about, Dr. Abilesh. If you wanted to know, so all the books that you see in the back here and also on CS is from our residence hounds, and we really love supporting one another just because that is what a community is. We're right there behind one another every step of the way, and I just, I haven't found any better community besides the Hounds of Business, created by yours truly, Mike Asher Banner. So shout out to you, thank you, and hey, that is one of our proud sponsors. So we'll get to that in a second. But anyhow, so I just wanted to say, Ashif, I see you. Thank you so much for all the support. There are so many of you. I don't even know where to begin. Dr. Constance, thank you so much for always being awesome. Bobby Lee, you're amazing. Hernan Cias, oh my God, good morning to you. He has this fantastic podcast, by other way. I'm so looking forward to chatting with you, my friend, in a few days. But
Put your
yes,
podcast in the comments.
yes, please. Oh man, yo, he's amazing. So Tanya Eberhard actually told me about him, the CS brothers, and they have it just amazing podcast about business. So I am so looking forward to you, brother, and just talking to you and just getting to know everything that you're doing, which is I know already is amazing. So shout out to y'all. If y'all have a business y'all want to promote, feel free to actually drop it in the comments. This is a free zone, it's a safe space. We support one another. That's why it's called the Connection Corner. I want to be able to have something for y'all to connect with one another, collaborate, right? Cross pollinate, as Sia best says it.
Yeah, it's funny when I say cross pollinate. I think people, if you don't have a bio background, they're like, "What are you talking about? Like, why does it sound naughty?" Oh, a story told is Chris Laparco. Hey, man.
Hi, Chris. Thank you so much for being another individual who's always just supporting in the background. I mean, I love it. I love it. I love all the love that is just pouring out of here. So I hope you're having a fantastic Saturday. So let's go ahead and roll the first sponsor so that we can get to it.
Okay, so who do we want to do here? Let's go with feeling sweet. Are you feeling sweet today?
I am always sweet. I am always sweet, but even more so when I have Be My Blessing next to me. So, Be My Blessing is a beautiful, beautiful effort that was started by Michael Carr and this is the very story. So, I'm going to send you guys to the website so y'all can read about it, Magdala. But it's honey. And what is best to go with honey? Right, tea and so many other different things. But as y'all see it here, I have it there. I've eaten half of it already because I love it so much. And so I'm just like, no, I'm going to save it. That's the great thing. That honey doesn't go bad. It doesn't have like expiration date, right, Sia?
Mm-hmm.
And the sweeter deal with this is that every single box the 100% of it, the sale goes to charity. And that's why I am like blindly support this effort because Michael Carr, I know your heart, Tanya, I know your heart, and you guys are just so amazing. So please, guy, just go ahead and get a gift box. This is a perfect gift, if that makes sense. Does it make sense? Yes, it makes sense.
Yes, it makes sense.
Okay, so anyhow, who is our next one? So shout out to you guys. Love you. Thank you so
Just side
much.
out. Hey, QR
Oh,
code. For those that are not technically inclined, that funny little black and white thing you see at the bottom, just put your phone camera to it. So hit your phone setting, right? Or hit the camera setting on your phone, scan your screen, and it will pop up and then you'll see the scan. So guys, definitely have some fun with QR codes. I'm in love with QR codes. Okay, that's one thing about like technology that has enabled us to be more efficient and effective with a lot of marketing in real time. So guys, I would challenge anyone check that out. And again, we already see yay, someone scanned the QR code. It was you, wasn't it? Like
I was demonstrating as you were speaking, ma'am. So I was like, this is how you do it. We learn by
this
doing,
is
don't
how
we?
you
So
do it.
yay! It was me, Mike as well. Yes, but see, this is how we support it, and it's just amazing. So QR code, it makes it's a technological advancement that makes it really easy for you to get to where you want to go when shopping for things. So, yay! Whoever made that, thank you so much.
Yes, yes, yes.
All
Yes,
right,
yes,
who's
yes.
our next
Okay.
one?
Yes, our next sponsor are the one and only Tausi. Tausi is our friend. We love you
And
like
you
a
could
love song.
shout out to you, Janice. Thank you so much. And I know you have so much going on. So, Janice Shokran is the creator, producer, CEO, founder, however you want to say it, of Tausi Brands. And Tausi Brands, it's not only just a product, but it changes lives. How does it change lives, Sia? You can take a perfect example in your case.
Yes. Okay. So, guys, I do feel like a Rogaine commercial. So Rogaine should start paying me. Not only am I a huge fan of Tausi, I too am a user of the Tausi brand pillowcases. So, a little somber moment is my mom got very ill. My mom's 86 years old, so we're kind of getting there. In the we're not 100% functioning at that age, and basically she was in the hospital, had sepsis, guys. Very scary part of our lives. And I saw her in the hospital, and I immediately went home, grabbed my Tausi pillow that I myself was using for my own lumbar support in my chair, and I gave it to her. And she looked so pathetic, you guys. The second I put that Tausi behind her neck to give her more added support because she looked so hella uncomfortable, she just like perked up. Like that level of discomfort. We all know hospital beds are not comfortable to begin with, but just giving that nice feeling, the material is nice, it's washable. She felt like home in this really cold, callous location, that we call the hospital. So huge advocate, you guys, for Tausi. It's not just for those that are ill. If you're traveling, and I know I'm not supposed to say it, but I'm going to say it anyway. If you're going to the beach, how many times have you put those towels behind your neck and it's so uncomfortable and it keeps falling and dropping? Think about Tausi around your neck as you're laying on those wonderful sun decks and getting your sun rays in. So, you guys, a lot of applications use case for Tausi. I cannot tell you enough how much I love this. And I know if you guys are looking to purchase, I know there is a promo code. I think it's under the Hounds. I forgot what it is. So I'm gonna have
We'll
to
get
come
it
back to
to
you on
in the
that.
comments. Yeah, no, we'll get it in the comments. But like I said, y'all, yeah, just check it out because it's super amazing. It's a life changing, product. So, and I love the story behind it. And like I said, we'll actually have Janice here in a couple of weeks in the show, so she can tell you more about it. And you guys will be amazed. So, whew, gosh, we got so much to get through. Our one and only fearless leader, Mike Asherbanner. Thank you so much for being one of the founding sponsor of this show. Without you, we would not be here. Thank you so much. I know some in this week has been a little rough. Around the edges for pretty much everyone, but we just want to let you know we're here. We love you. We adore you. Without you, we would not be doing what we're doing now. You have given us the push and that confidence to continue moving forward with all of our dreams and aspirations. So, guys, if you don't know who Mike Ashervenner is, oh my gosh, he's like, if you don't know about rednecks, he epitomizes that, but he does it with a huge heart. I just love the guy. I cannot even say much more about him, but check out his program, Hounds of Business Happy Hour, every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 6 p.m. Central. Gosh, I always mess that up. I don't know.
You
When am I going
almost
to get
had it.
better?
You almost had it this time. I think you're getting it's like only the what, 30th, episode here, so almost there. You're almost there, beautiful.
And I think you're right. It is almost like a 30th episode. My goodness, how do y'all do 100 of these? Jeez, congrats to everybody. Somebody just hit 50 if I'm not mistaken, or Paul hit something this week. So
Yeah,
we'll talk
his,
about it.
we're are actually gonna be celebrating his 3-year anniversary coming up shortly. We'll talk about that.
My gosh, but
So,
okay. So last one, so shout out Mike. All right. So or do we just go straight? I mean, how do you want to do it?
the
There
last one
you
is
go.
me.
Ooh.
Be Media. We help all of our clients, if you have questions in your business, to look at digital content. Where do you fit in that story? We can help you execute on it strategically, simply, and brilliantly because we are all about shining our lights together. So, all ships rise with the tide. And I know people have probably heard me say this, weekly about the fact that we as a community, again, under the group here, Hounds, a business. I do want to emphasize this thing right here. So, a lot of folks are asking, like, what does that mean? What does this community mean? What do you guys do? Like, it's kind of weird. And yes, I get it. It's not a cult, peoples. But let me tell you something. What I've done is I've put my money where my mouth is when I say I believe in community growth. Because if your friends are doing well, success follows. Successful people collaborate with successful people. Success happens when you position yourself in a community that is all about growth and accelerated success in support of one another. So, I would like to give credit to myself that a lot of the community members are now creating content. They are now live streaming or they're throwing up webinars or courses, etc. And so, with all those different events happening, I created an event calendar on my website, brilliantbemedia.com events, where you can find everything centrally because LinkedIn, though they're great, um, if you really want to know like curated folks that I know, like, and trust that is going to provide value for you on a daily basis, check out our calendar of events. There's a dedicated list there. My company does not necessarily produce all of this. This is just my way of saying, you know what? If you're putting out content in there and you're a good person, then I will be more than happy to support you because if you support others, I'm all about reciprocation. And so all of these folks are huge hearted folks. That being said, why and who are these folks? I also added a second portion of my website, and I call it the Lighthouse Community just to brand it and keep it in the themes of, Brilliant Beam. But this is actually an aggregation of a lot of different communities, people that I know. Obviously, if you're knowing Mike's community, which is the Hounds of Business, you'll see a lot of familiar faces in that. So if you go to brilliantbeammedia.com/lighthouse community, you can meet a whole slew of people, very interesting, a lot of great people with stories to share and their wisdom and experience. Hire them for your needs and or just get to know them because they're extraordinary people. So that is my pitch. And I thank you so much for letting me expand on that because all this stuff here is because I firmly believe that, success begets success. So,
Absolutely. And I think that's at the core of everything that we do here in the community, right? Everybody, we want to see everybody win and succeed in whatever it is that they want to do, whatever avenue, whatever industry that you're doing. We want to see you succeed, especially for folks, because I know what looking for jobs right now, employment opportunities are very slim. And a lot of individuals are going through a rough time. But that's why we create these things. So, having said that, I wanted to give a quick shout out to Christopher Wiley. He is a connection of mine, and we've chatted for over the last weeks, and he's open to work. He's having some difficulties in finding anything with customer service. So please reach out to him. I think there's a QR code there for him, so they can connect with his profile. But he's such an amazing individual, and he's pretty talented in what he does. Like I said, so he's pretty much open. So reach out to him. He's an amazing guy. He's an expert in what he does. It's like I said, it's really tough out there. So I wanted to give you a shout out and thank you so much for the gift. You were so cute. He sent me like an AI version or something, with my face, and it was just so pretty. I appreciate it. Thank you so much, Christopher. So shout out to you and good luck with the search. And everybody connect with him and see how we can help one another because again, it goes back to the basics of the community aspect, which is helping one another as a network. So, whoo, oh my gosh. So,
okay.
are we ready?
Let's get ready to
Woo!
rumble. It's only
Oh
been
my,
22 minutes, gents. Thanks for waiting for us.
thank you so much. We tend to
I
get
think
very chatty.
I noticed that. Well, C is never at a lack of something to say. So I mean, come on.
Okay, well, yeah, she always does have something to say. That's why, that is one of the things that really it stood out for me about Sia. She can talk about anything and everything. So it's
And
very
probably
admirable.
will. Yeah.
So, having said that, well, thank you so much. Welcome to the show. I thank you for being here on a Saturday morning. You could be doing so many other great things, but I hear you guys are very just high, performance individuals. Paul already like ran like 6 miles and had his breakfast and everything, and Mike already went shopping. So we're
I went
good.
to a farmer's market and got breakfast tacos. Don't get too excited.
But I didn't run 6 miles, but I did go to the gym already and work out. So I guess that counts
Okay,
as something.
can I just tell you, like, so backstage, Rocky's like, okay, guys, so here's what we're gonna do. And what did you guys do this morning? And they're like, oh yeah, I hiked Mount Everest. And I'm like, I made myself a cup of coffee.
Yay, me, right?
I
It's
bathed. I bathed.
yeah.
And you put
Perception
makeup
and
on.
reality.
Hey,
I put makeup on.
hey, it's early. See, you got plenty of time to get active.
So like I said, this is the beautiful thing about actually having friends within the network that you can actually just say, hey, yo, I really don't know much about this, can you come and talk to us about it? And we reached out to Paul and Mike, and they were more than happy and willing to share their knowledge. So I urge the audience that for the next 30 minutes that we have them to ask questions, anything regarding technology. Don't feel left out. Don't feel like you don't know, or that a question is going to be stupid. No, I'm learning there alongside you. Okay. This is a safe space. So please shoot your question. So without further ado, Paul, tell us a little bit about you and your amazingness and your amazing swag hat. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah. So my name is Paul Delegro. I work for a IT consulting company. That's my day job, called Prescriptive Data Solutions. And I do have a podcast that, I've said this a million times. C is the one that really got me going on this. She's the one that gave me the kick in the rear end. And coming up, we just released episode 73 this week, and we got 3-year anniversary coming up, I believe in August. So, and as far as the hat, we just came back from Scotland, and I bought this hat in Scotland. So it's kind of a memento of my trip. So
Swag hat, as I call it. Oh
yeah,
my gosh, that's awesome. Well, congrats on your podcast. But like I said, we'll get
thank
into that
you.
in a little bit. But all right, Michael Madero, tell us a little bit about you.
Well, during the week, I get to work at Mr. Cooper. I've been doing InfoSec probably since the mid 90s. More recently, been in the identity space. So that's kind of what I get to do. And, trying to do more talking to people, more mentoring, more helping the community around me, here and there. So that tends to be a lot more fun than just kind of slogging through security stuff.
Mike, how long
Yeah.
have you been at Mr. Cooper?
Since 2019.
Okay.
Yeah.
When I was at EMC, we did a lot of business with you guys. You had Nation Star Mortgage at that point.
Yeah, that's what I hear as far as the Nation Star stuff. When they reached out to me, I actually didn't know who Mr. Cooper was, or what they did or anything. Well, they kind of gave me the story that we're the artist formerly known as Nation Star Mortgage. I'm like, oh, okay. And they rebranded. They're the Happy Mortgage Company now, and I guess that's all fine and well. But they do still have an EMC Synology implementation. I guess it's just running. And it's happy, and nobody messes with it, right? To watch the blinky lights.
Yeah.
As it should, right? Like that's
right.
good. Like that's a positive relationship where it's actually doing its job. Thank you. Yeah. So and Raquel's like, okay, good. I think I understood that.
Yeah, I think I understood like probably 70% of that. So yay,
Yeah,
yay.
so just it's think of it like a great big hard drive.
Yeah.
Where you go put all your data in this big honking thing. And that's what it does. That's its whole mission in life.
Yeah. It's funny, Mike, you raise a good point. So I always said that when I was at EMC, we sold, and one of the things we sold was data storage. And, the people over there, all these technology would like to think we're solving world hunger, and the reality is, here's what I would say. Look, see that file cabinet over there? We sell electronic versions of that. You put stuff in, you store it, and when you need it, you go get it.
Yep.
And nothing more, nothing less. Now there's security issues, there's backup, all that stuff. But basically that's what we did.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But I mean, even the security stuff and all these other things are kind of, abstracted from the where, right? Yep. Whether you're storing it in the cloud, whether you're storing it in the big filing cabinet, or whether you're storing it on your local machine.
Yep.
You have to secure it.
Yep. Exactly.
Right? That's it comes with the dinner.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm kind of running out of space here. So I'm gonna throw up this question. It's kind of out of sequence and order, but what happens is I lose questions and comments over time. It like starts because it has to make room, and there's a lot of comments going in. So I hate to do this to you guys, but I'm gonna throw this question up so I don't lose it. Okay. Sure. So Giannis has a question, and
saw it whiz by earlier in the
Georgia Kopoulos. Giannis Georgia Kopoulos.
Okay, so
Georgia Kopoulos.
Really, yeah.
Okay, may I please initiate this conversation by asking
a nice Greek name?
Yeah, right. Yeah, there's no confusion where this name comes from. By asking whether one can train ChatGPT or does it actually come with multiple predispositions?
I'm gonna guess it depends, right? Are you talking about the engine that actually runs ChatGPT itself, or are you talking about ChatGPT, the final product, right? I think the underlying technology, yes, you can train it. That's the whole point, right? Now, once it's here, I don't know if the ChatGPT engine is learning from all the questions and stuff, or it just gets questions and spits out answers. And is anyone grading ChatGPT on how good its answers are? And is it learning from that feedback and doing more? I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm probably one of the few people on the planet that hasn't messed with it.
Yeah, I would think it's gotta evolve, Mike, right? Because it's using artificial intelligence to gather the data and evolve. So, but I haven't used it, but I've heard great things about it from people I work with and from my kids actually.
Yeah.
So,
know.
okay, so for those that do not know what ChatGPT is, okay, let's take a step back because ChatGPT is just a product of a brand, okay, from OpenAI. There is competitor products like Bard coming out from Google, for example, and other tech companies are coming out with their
Yep.
own versions. What this is basically a tool to help you achieve certain tasks. So in this context for ChatGPT, it's about writing, a lot of
Right.
writing. And so for those like Mike Asherbrand says, I can't write, I can't write. What it's a great tool for is to help prompt you to maybe start. Here's like, oh, I don't know how to write my own bio, for example.
Right.
You can say you can write into the prompt. So ChatGPT, all it is think of it like a chatbot, okay? And you type into it, why is the sky blue, and it'll come up with some answers. But you can say, what is Raquel Flores's bio, or write me Raquel's bio, and it will come up with something based on the data that's provided on
Yeah.
the internet. It will scour all that stuff and come up with a quote paragraph to describe a bio of Raquel, for example. Okay, that's what ChatGPT in its rudimentary essence is.
Yep.
Now, there is hype around it, though, guys. I just want to clarify that people are like, oh, wonderful. Now I can use ChatGPT to replace all of my communications.
Yeah.
That's not, I don't think, the best use case for it, because there's nothing more entertaining to see someone copy and paste a response and send it to their boss without reading it and basically catching what you might have written in social media come through into your business writings, right? So
Yeah.
there's good and bad and ugly. Now, when you're saying, can you train it? Again, with the prompts, you can narrow down, and they recommend it. When you're into the prompt, you go very specific. So, as I had mentioned before, Raquel wants to do a bio for herself. Okay, for what purpose? Because when you write a bio for yourself, it's not necessarily the same for all things, right? So it could be, for example, I need to write a bio for a book that I'm doing. That's different than I need a bio written for a podcast episode.
Right.
It's different content. So yes, you can train the prompt to get more detailed. But then I think or does it actually come with multiple predispositions? I think that goes back to how that originally got coded and the algorithms behind that AI to pull that data to find out and parse through what is more important than others that's relevant. So yes, it's a lot of, I think, threw at you, but just think of an AI of Chat GPT ilk as just like a rake, and it's pulling information out of
Right.
the internet and pulling it and gathering it. So does that make sense?
Okay, so what I caught from that was okay. You can use it, but you can use it more to enhance as well, and kind
Yes.
of bring up some of the things. Like if you're not A plus writer for whatever reason, or you're just not, that's not one of your fortes, then you can put something into it, and it will make it a little bit more. It will embellish it for you, or it will concise the message for whatever reason it is an email, whatever text you're trying to do. So that's what I'm getting from it. Am I heading the right direction?
Yeah. I'll tell you a good example. Someone just told me about something they used it for. Someone asked them to write a letter of recommendation. And if you've ever written one, they're hard to do. So she used Chat GPT, input as much data about that person as she could, and it spit it out. She said it was almost perfect. She read it. She goes, I didn't have to change a thing. So to you, I don't know, I think you may have said it, Mike, or see it. The more data you put in, the better it's going to be. And in this case, because like I said, if I've had people ask me for letters of recommendations, I'm not great at it. I try my best, but it's just not something that one of my strengths. So if I ever have to write one again, I know where I'm going to use it.
I mean, like I said, it's not meant to replace you, right? Like
Right.
because it's not perfect. So
that's why the more data you put in, the more accurate it's going to be. And that seems to be the consensus. I know some other people that have used it as well.
Yeah, agreed. And it's like your predictive text. It gets a lot better the more it gets used to you.
Yeah.
But I still wouldn't trust it to auto respond for me.
Yeah. No, I completely agree.
Or the autocorrect feature. It's it's only so good.
Truth. Okay, this is another one. You guys, thank you so much as everyone's like commenting. I'm having to pull this one up faster, so this is really, I think, going to just be a Q&A, guys.
Yeah, I mean that's what it perfectly fine. T Romero. Okay, she says serious questions. With the recent massive tech layoffs, do you see those jobs returning in different sectors, or are those jobs lost now with the rollout of AI? That's deep.
I'll go ahead
Yeah.
and say no. They
Go
are
ahead,
they're
Mike.
not lost.
Mike's a hiring executive, so yeah. Talk to us about your teams, sir.
Sure. You know what? I think there's a lot of things that we're trying to do with AI. I think we're trying to make a lot of our day-to-day easier, because there's a lot of mundane stuff that a lot of folks are doing. And I know, just from my standpoint, we never have enough staff to do everything we need to do.
Right.
Right. And if I can get a lot of this muck that a lot of my folks are stuck in taken care of by something else, at least, hey, you know what? It's that's good enough. Right. Let's get some of these low-level things out of the way. I can now have these folks available to do other stuff that I need them really working on, more high-value things.
Yes.
Right. And that's really where I see AI making a bigger impact today. Now, is AI ever going to get to a point where it's so smart that it's going to be, it can do a better job of hiring talent than I can? Yeah, okay, it might. And, some people may argue that it's that smart today.
Yeah.
But, honestly, I don't know that it's gonna just replace us, right? And if it did take away a job from somebody that was doing just something so mundane, and so hey, look at this as an opportunity to go do something better, man. Because I mean, it's really right now just focused on, hey, what are some of these low-level things that, yes, no things, and move them out. And then we're trying to get, okay, these people that actually can do a lot more reasoning and can use context a lot better. I need them doing some of these more complex things.
Right.
Makes sense.
So I'll adjust that too. So I'm on the other side. Mike, you're on the end user side. I'm on the consulting reseller side, and I can tell you that most of our customers have such a shortage of staff. It's not even fun. Now, when the question is about massive tech layoffs, I can't speak to the Googles and Amazons and all these big, massive companies that are laying off, but I know the rank and file, most of the customers out there have a shortage of workers. There's a ton of jobs out there, but it's, do you want to move? What industry, what sector you want to be in? So I would just say, network your rear end off, and kind of like this community here. And there's jobs out there. I see them every day.
There is. I think there's opportunity. So think of it
Yeah.
this way. Whenever you get a technology innovation jump, all right? So the way I think of it is this. Remember before when we had telephone calls and they had operators that literally had the cables, and you called the switchboard and they're just
Yeah.
boom, 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 back and forth, right? And as technology has been able to automate that, make it
Sure.
easier to route all those phone calls seamlessly and not have a human interacting in between, it didn't mean that all these, operators disappeared. They just got moved, retrained, and moved into different roles, right? Quite frankly, if you understood as a switchboard person the fundamentals of like, oh no, I've got to route A, B, and C into that thing, the odds were high. They probably were able to get trained into some other segment that's like, it's like a new ecosystem gets built up as a result, right? So if there's a machine that replaces it, maybe they're the ones that fix it. Maybe they become the QA, quality assurance. Maybe they're the ones that, become the designers or the engineers, right? That go into it. So there is always opportunity. Just because that particular task and role gets removed doesn't mean you're somehow left out in the cold. So that's kind of where my perspective is yes, you should always be learning though.
Yeah. Well, Mike can probably speak to this, but what I tell people at our customers that say, hey, man, that technology is going to eliminate my job. I said, hey, look, if you're good at what you do and you add value in the organization, they'll find a spot for you. Mike, you're on the hiring side.
100%.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you something else. I mean, there have been technology advancements that were going to eliminate all our jobs coming since the start of the industrial age, right?
Yeah.
And the truth of it is yes, unfortunately, there are some jobs that do get eliminated. See the auto industry assembly line. Yeah. But, to your point, if you're good at what you do, or even more importantly, if you're easy to work with, if you're just a good, hey, we need that guy on our team. I don't care what you find for him, find something for him.
Yeah, I
Um,
completely like right
Yeah.
there. I think that's a great point, Mike, because it's sometimes we talked about the work environment toxicity, et cetera, right? That's a burnt out topic already. But in reality, when you go down and actually analyze it, the people, if there's a person who keeps it glued together or who injects that productivity or injects that
yeah.
passion for people to actually produce, why would you get rid of that person? Like hell no. They're
No,
Yeah.
helping you even more. Right.
every team has that one person that makes coming into work, coming into the office, or
Yeah.
getting on a Teams meeting these days something that, hey, you know what? Yeah, I'm up for it, right?
Yeah. It's
Versus like,
funny.
oh my gosh, can't believe I
I
need
read a
another.
book once called The Likability Factor, and I won't give you all the details, but the net was, if you're in an organization and they've got to eliminate people and they've got two people they're going to choose from, the one that's liked and respected in the group versus the one that's not, that person's going to go first. So to your point, Mike, just if you be that person that comes in the office, everyone likes, everyone respects, everyone likes to work with, and most of the time you will not lose your job.
And
Okay.
baked goods is very important. Bring in baked goods every once in a while.
There you
Well,
go.
yeah, okay, look, here's the bottom
Donuts.
line, guys. We talk about this in career development anyway. Any career coach will tell everyone this. Always find an opportunity for your next position. So if you're networking properly, not just in your own industry, but outside your industry, all different levels, you will find the opportunities that, okay, if this particular role does go away, you still have opportunity. You got to find and make your next steps, guys. You can't rely on corporations or business to dictate what your next position will be. So
Yeah.
in some ways, yes, AI will change our landscape of what we do, but that's because technology does that. You guys, we're in that shift. We're in that paradigm shift. I know those are all those 80s words, but you got to take care of your own, right? Make it happen,
Yeah.
peeps. Make it happen.
Inevitably, I mean, we're all going that way, right? With the route where technology is going to be superpower and everybody's going to have to be using it. Everybody has to learn, but never losing that human aspect or that factor. I think it's the key, and finding that dance, between the two worlds. It's that delicate thing that we have to do, and I think we're trying. But because we're so eager and FOMO on AI this AI everybody's like running towards it. I mean, sprinting to it.
Can I
Yeah.
just clarify? I'm so sorry. Go ahead, Paul.
No, I was going to say, touching on a subject here about this whole COVID has really changed things, right?
Yes.
Where this whole work from home environment, I think there's good aspects of it, but there's not so good aspects of it. And I don't know who mentioned it's the human element. I feel bad for the young kids out there today that aren't getting that tribal knowledge from being on site in a conference room with coworkers and building those personal relationships. I'm a little older. I can work from home. I've got enough friends. I don't need any more.
Get off my lawn.
Yeah, exactly. But I think you lose a lot by not being on site. And, again, everyone's just relying on technology. I mean, look at what we're doing right now. I mean, 10 years ago, we could have never done this on a video streaming call. Your bandwidth wasn't fast enough. Technology wasn't good enough. And now all we do is Zoom calls and Teams calls.
I will point out though that 20 maybe 30 years ago, getting old now, in the late 80s we would do something very low techy like this called bulletin boards and FidoNet and things like that, and it wasn't as real time as this, obviously, but even asynchronously, I mean, you were dialing into a central point and exchanging stuff. So
I have a really quick one. We dove into it, right? We're talking more of the meat and potatoes of the topic, but how did y'all really get into it? I mean, don't tell me it was video games. How did y'all get into tech? I know, Paul, you got later on, but like Mike, like how did you get into it?
Honey, we predate video games.
Video game.
Oh my gosh, was it video games? What was it? Video game?
So yeah, I started getting on bulletin boards to get access to better games for at the time, my Commodore 64. Because it was way better than Atari video games. You could get games that were almost just like the ones in the arcade, right? Video games.
Okay, he says it so shyly. He's like, video games.
And then you also needed the codes so that you could plug it into the video game. Where do you think? Up, right, fire, left, down, and then you got a little screen, and then you put in this long code, and then now all of a sudden you have 1,000 lives.
Yeah.
And you could just play for hours. Yeah. You had to go network to get all these things.
I see. Okay, that's an interesting part that I didn't know. Wow. What about you, Paul? I know you have more of an unconventional entry into it.
Well, yeah,
Mhm.
no, I believe it or not, I have a degree in mathematics and a minor in computer science. So I had
What?
yeah. I actually
I'm
wanted
not
to,
laughing at you. I'm impressed. Sorry.
Just, it's
so
just
but I never
mathematics
used
degree.
my degree. I went into sales and owning businesses right after college, and I never really used it. I got into technology at age 48. I had a friend of mine that owned a consulting firm that said, "Hey, why don't you come work for me?" And I'm like, I don't know anything about technology, really. I had been so removed from college, and what I learned in college, it wasn't even applicable at that point. And at the time, I didn't know the difference between a switch and a server. And I will say this, kind of a funny comment. There'll be a lot of people that will agree with that today, that I don't know a switch from a server today. But I think I know a little bit now after being in the industry for a few years. So yeah, I did not take the conventional route, like go to college. Right out of college, get an entry-level job in sales or technology. I got in late in life.
Okay, well, and that's one of the things that I wanted to ask, because I know there's some folks out there, we're in the revolutionary age of AI, everything, IT, everything. And I hear IT being thrown around every single where. And can like a regular Joe, a regular Raquel say, hey, I want to start learning and pick up some entry level information that I can find something. Being a single mommy, working remotely, and knowing to do something like that would definitely help me. So can an average Joe really do this, or
Yeah.
do we really have to go to school for like a long time?
No.
And
Yeah, I mean,
No.
there's
Mike,
different
That's the short answer. Yes, you can. No, you don't have to go to school for
Yep.
years and years and years and years. There are a lot of free resources that
Yeah,
if you want to learn how to program, that it's w3schools.org, I believe, and it'll teach any language you really want to learn at your own pace. You go.
Yeah.
At that point, you're like, how much do you really need to sleep? Come on, really.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
I mean, there
there's
are a lot of resources. There a lot of folks like me, like Paul, and the people in this community that will point you at, what do you want to learn? How deep do you want to get? How far down the rabbit hole do you want to go?
Yeah.
And we'll, here, have some stuff. And I recommend to anyone who really wants to. We all have old aging technology in our homes that can
Speak for
support
yourself.
a virtual machines, and these are basically you can spin up a pretend computer, and it can host many, and you can start by trying to install different types of operating systems, Windows, Linux, whatever. Set up the environment that you want to learn and experiment. Find out what breaks it. That's my favorite thing to do, is figure out how to break something really good, and then how to put it back together. That's something I was not always really good at as a kid. I was great at breaking things. Take something apart, have a million parts all over the place, and I think I remember how to put this back together. But you learn so much. I learned that I almost died when my dad walked in on me, and the computer that he had just bought me was still making payments on, was spread out all over the bed.
Oh, nice.
oh my
And
goodness.
he's like, "What are you doing?" It's like, "Oh, hey, Dad, I'm upgrading this and putting a new hard drive in it. Need some more memory. It'll be great." He's like, "I'm gonna be back in an hour, and that better be put back together." It's like, "Sure, Dad." And I find out later that he had to go cool down because he was about to strangle me. He
Oh
still had
my
another few
god.
years of payments to make on it or something like that.
Well, the $1,000,000 question is, did you put it back together?
Of course, I
Oh,
was much
okay.
better by then. But he
Oh my-
remembers, some of my earlier attempts at improving things, not
My
working out so
goodness.
well. But
Okay.
today we don't really have to really mess with the iron, the metal, right?
Yeah.
You can go get a subscription to Microsoft Azure, Amazon AWS, and build your own virtual computers you know,
In the cloud, yeah.
in the cloud. Yes,
Yep.
exactly.
Okay,
And
pause, pause,
you
pause,
can learn without actually having to break things. How awesome
Mhm.
is that?
pause. Explain what Amazon, AWS, Azure, what are those things,
These
guys?
are
What
all
is this cloud,
the
cloud, cloud?
the cloud services, right? So they're somebody else's computer is the
That's
best way
it.
I can put
That's
that.
all it is. Yep.
And they're letting you buy time on their computers. And you can build up your own little instance of a computer, little baby ones, and put different applications or programs or whatever on them and start playing around and learning. Now, word of caution, uh, it's on the internet, which means you can get to it, and if you don't secure it, so can anybody else.
Yep.
So there's some care that you do need to do. They will give you tools to do this, but you do kind of have to do a little bit of research. They're called best practices. Do pay attention to those. And this is the basically how to stay safe. When you get in your car, put on your seatbelt, make sure your airbag is working and all that kind of fun stuff, so that if you have a blowout at 70 or 80 miles an hour on the tollway and you spin out and hit a wall, you have a pretty good chance of walking away from it, right?
So that feeds into the question that was given to you
Yeah.
from Dean LeBay, a fellow Texan. Michael, can you talk how technology is helping with Mr. Cooper without going into too much details, obviously, because you are in the cyber side of the house?
Mhm.
I am.
We don't want him to lose his
I
job
think,
today, by the way.
Oh,
right?
yes. No.
Let me caveat that by, these are the thoughts and opinions of Mike Madero, and by no means mirror those of Mr. Cooper. But what I'll say is it's helping the way it's helping everybody. I mean, I don't know of any shop I've worked in the last 15 years that couldn't just call themselves a technology company
Yes.
that also did, build, A-type widget, right? Whether it was healthcare, whether it was, travel or transportation, whether it was, mortgage, right? That's what
Yep.
Mr. Cooper does, FYI. We're all basically technology shops now.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the way delivery is going, you look at American Airlines. I worked for both American Airlines and Southwest Airlines, and it's so long ago that they don't really care what I say about them. So, but the way they make their money and the way they lose their money, more often than not, is based on their technology. Their technology is used to optimize their schedule. How can we keep the planes in the air, full of people, right, for the most amount of time, with as little time on the ground where they're not making money, right? And what's the most efficient use of fuel, and all these things, right? Logistics, which is why Southwest Airlines took a bath over the holidays,
Just
because
recently,
they spent a lot of time with planes on the ground because their technology failed them, right? So that's what I can say about how is technology helping us. Technology is helping us by helping us, do our business, faster, better, than anything else. One of the things that I will share, and I hear this from many people that I interface with when I'm either at a conference or whatever. Oh, you're with Mr. Cooper. Y'all's website is great. It's the easiest site I've ever had to deal with when I have to go do stuff with my mortgage. Usually right around tax time, when we're all trying to figure out, do we feel like itemizing, or do we just want to take the standard deduction, call it a day, right? But I got, it was funny. I was asked if I wanted to take advantage of Mr. Cooper's, employee discount and get a new loan. And I said, no, I don't know if I really want my loan managed by the place I work at. Maybe not. And then 2 months later, they bought my loan. So I'm now a customer.
Okay.
But I will say that, having used, a Cardinal Mortgage, Freedom Mortgage, and, Chase and others, it is by far the easiest website to, go see where my mortgage is, what's going on with it, how much I owe, where's my important tax forms, and, oh, by the way, if I want to go, if I do want to go refinance, which, when the rates were really, really low back in 2020, I did. So
Yeah.
I see. I
I wouldn't
see.
recommend doing that right now because, like everybody else, rates are high. It doesn't matter who you're getting your mortgage from.
Right. No, I see Paul nodding at everything that Michael is saying.
Yeah.
Now, you agree with what he's saying, or anything that differs maybe in your sector?
No, he's right on the money. So we're looking at it from two different perspectives, right? Like he's on the customer side, I'm on the sales side, and we hear that a lot from our customers, right? That and I think the biggest thing, the change, I think, Michael, and you can correct me if I'm wrong on this one, is the common thread with all of them is security. Like that used to be kind of an afterthought. Like it wasn't a problem until it was a problem. But now everyone's getting hit. Everyone's getting spoofed, fished. I mean, it just is the main thing. And that's probably the number one conversation we have with our customers is about security.
Mhm.
I mean, yeah. Sorry, I was just say where there's a will, there's always a way.
Yeah.
So, if I may just add one commentary about cybersecurity and the need for it, and the fact that if you are a small business owner, solopreneur, entrepreneur, and you have a presence, they don't know that you're a one-man shop. They
Right.
just know that you have an IP address. Your IP address, by the way, is that funny little thing that you get to put in the browser. Okay, but we put it in the simpler terms. So instead of numbers, it's brilliantbeanmedia.com. Okay, that's your URL. But anyway, they don't care that you're small beans. There's multiple things they want. Okay, we know it's your data. They want to see, can I get access to your accounts that actually net me money? B, data. Can I get data from you that is going to be interesting that I can sell onto the dark, black web, for example? C, can I use your resources? So remember we were talking about that cloud, and it's like you're renting a computer from remote. Well, guess what? Those hacks, those attempts that you see that happen all the time are to use your resources for their nefarious needs and purposes. So there's a lot of different reasons why you should care about having good and practicing good cybersecurity hygiene.
Yeah, and I think people like us, we really don't understand that anything that is out there, it's for the taking. Anybody can twist it, turn it, and use it against. And so that's why we have to really become informed. More than anything, our duty, as I say, we have to do our due diligence and inform ourselves on how to better equip ourselves to secure
Rocky,
ourselves.
you have hit on the number one thing in security, because what I tell everybody is that since the 80s, the bad guys have been doing the same thing. They're taking advantage of lazy administrators.
Yep.
Yeah, I used to do system admin. I know you got a lot of stuff to do, and you take a lot of shortcuts. Guess what? They know that. They know what your shortcuts are, and they're going to take advantage. The other thing they take advantages of is nice, well-meaning people. Do you or do you not hold the door if you see a sweet old person coming up behind you when you're going to the store?
Yes,
Right.
the elderly are so
I
get
know.
praised for this. Oh my God.
And they know that by default we as humans try to be nice, try to be helpful, and so they will, hey, I just need help, can you do blah blah blah, and go buy me some gift cards.
Yep.
Right. It's the same thing, whether it comes via email, whether it comes via SMS chat, whether it comes in a phone call. They've been finding new and interesting ways to get you or entice you, more often than not, into clicking on the shiny object and helping them gain access to what you have. It's a lot easier to ask for you to help than try to break into your system.
Yeah,
I see.
that's the biggest one we see, Mike, is all the phishing and spoofing and all that, just clicking on link, because they rely, like you said, on the human factor. That's the biggest threat vector right now is human beings. I see a lot of companies doing training, and they're getting away from the public shaming, Mike. I don't know how you guys do it at Mr. Cooper, but that whole, you do that again, you're going to get fired, has got to go out the door, because you got to empower people to come forward if they make a mistake or think they make a mistake.
Well, I think one of the things that we try to do a little bit different is you still have to figure out what's broken, right? There are those that just they have trouble, and I get it. I mean, I got popped once, and
everyone
a few
has.
years ago. It happens, and a lot of times it happens because you're busy, you're in a hurry, and we all have these handy little devices that we can carry around in our hands. that they give you a very simplified version of whatever you're looking at, and oh my gosh, that's happening. Okay, let me dig in to see what this is. Oh my goodness. And then you're throwing your device at the wall, right? So I get it, but instead of the public shaming, we're going to talk to HR, we're going to talk to your boss, is we'll reach out to them, and we have someone whose job it is to one-on-one, hey, let's talk about this. Why is it that or what, maybe not, I'm not asking the questions, probably a good thing, but
well, there's a
what
question
we're trying
right
to get
there.
to is, what can we do to help you identify these better, right? What tools can we give you to allow you to take that extra second to think about, is this something I should interact with or not? Right? And because at the end of the day, you got to, education is what's going to help you.
Yeah.
Not the shaming, not the, hey, do this again, because you haven't done anything, right? They just like, well, it looked like I needed to do something. And if you just create fear, which I think is what Paul's alluding to, is like, if you just create fear is not that useful in this case. Because then you might get the other extremes, like, well, hey, yeah, I got that thing from HR, this training thing, but I didn't want to click on it because I didn't want to get training again or get in trouble, right? I didn't want to click on this meeting or this other thing that apparently was really important, because I'm just tired of getting popped.
And that's the thing, when you get popped, that's like, even us, as knowledgeable as we all are, we make mistakes just as much.
Absolutely.
I mean, I remember a buddy of mine who is in cybersecurity as well, and he sent me a link and texted it to me, and I almost just immediately just clicked without thinking, and I was like, wait, stop, because I saw his URL said something.Korea, and I was like, oh hell no, hold, stop, because I knew to look, right? And then I texted him, I go, dude, are you trying to send me something from a Korean website? He goes, yeah, it's a burger. And I'm like, okay, dude, you can't, better. You got to preface it. You got to, you know what I mean? Like,
so say, I'll give one piece of advice. I tell my kids this: never, 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 never click on a link. If, say, we've all had it, your bank sends you a text saying, hey, your account's been hacked, please click on this and log in. What you should do is don't click on the link, go to the website that you normally go to and log in. This just happened to me. I have a USAA account just this week. Your account's been hacked. You need to do this, that. I went to USAA, logged in, there were no messages, no nothing. It was total gaffe. So that's one piece of advice I would give someone. Do not ever click on a link in an email or a text, period.
Never.
Yeah, we get, I get all those on an email all day long, every single day. And then it's like, okay, I've become keen to them, and I'm like, okay, Raquel, don't click on the link. So I know that. But before I know, we have to start wrapping it up, and it sucks. We have to do a part 2, y'all. No kidding. Okay, so before we leave, Mary has a question. So Adobe Flash, so can I get hacked when using it, or can they hack my projects in is VPN best protectors? Okay, I think those are 2 questions.
Okay, so VPN stands for what, Mike?
Virtual private network. But I'll let Mike answer that. He's the security guy.
That's a virtual private network. And, I saw the comment go by, and I thought I'd wait for it to come up. But yes, it can protect you. But like everything else, it's the right tool for the right job. Right? You're in a coffee shop. You're on their public Wi-Fi where everybody can see your traffic. Yes, a VPN can make it so that nobody can see what your traffic is. Now, what it will not do, it will not protect you from viruses. It will not protect you from the internet, because you're still connected to the internet.
It's still a tube.
Is that you've put kind of like a privacy screen around your conversation with the internet, but whoever you're talking to can still pass you something that's bad.
Yeah,
and that's probably the best way I can couch that.
Yeah, so absolutely. It is literally plumbing, you guys. A VPN, virtual private network, just think of it as a separate tube away from the main tube, but it's still going to have stuff flow through if you yourself don't have your antivirus protections or additional layers. The thing about cybersecurity, you guys, it's multiple layers to If they
Yes.
penetrate one wall, then there's another wall. Think of a castle wall, right? It's not just one castle wall. They have a moat. Before that, they
Yeah.
might have a field. Before that, they might have like city edge fort walls, right? So it's just as it penetrates. Unfortunately, you guys, as we just talked about, as long as social engineering and just bad security practices come into place, there's always that human element, right? There's always going to be that one person that's like, oh, just open all the doors, right? That you got to be careful who has admin rights. How are you getting your passwords? So I think, Paul, was it you and I were talking about use those password apps if you
Yeah.
cannot keep track of all your apps, right?
Yeah,
Like
you should never, in my opinion, you should use a password app that auto generates passwords. I don't know any of my passwords right now. These complex gobbledygook stuff that that I go to, because we're all guilty of it, initials and a birthday or something, something that, from now I don't do any of that. I've changed all my passwords. I let the application auto generate.
absolutely.
Mike, I know our company, we use an application like that for all of our employees. What do you guys do?
We're actually looking at putting something forward for everyone to use for passwords, because even though, we may have single sign-on and multi-factor for all our stuff that we use from an enterprise perspective, we know that, with people working from home, the best way to keep their home stuff secure and by proxy, if you're doing the right things at home, you're probably going to do the right things at work too. It doesn't usually go the other way around. People don't usually take all their work habits and then duplicate them at home. It goes the other way. So if we give them the tools to make themselves more secure at home while they're doing their day-to-day, if they're using those home PCs to work from home for whatever reason, because we all do, it'll make it safer from that perspective, but it'll also teach them some better habits to bring to work with them as well.
Oh my gosh, y'all. We could go on for hours. I know that. But I know for the sake of time, we're going to take one more question and then we're going to say our goodbyes, golden nuggets, and then, we're going to be ready for a part 2 soon. So, okay, D. LeBay, shout out to you. He says, guys, great that y'all are from Texas. What are your thoughts as far as why Texas is still behind East and West Coast as far as technology goes? Or do you feel this is still the case as it was before? Ooh, okay. Paul?
I don't know if I agree with that
I don't
statement.
agree with that.
but yeah.
None of us agree with that statement, Dean.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Enlighten us, please.
I mean,
go ahead.
Go ahead.
Go, Paul.
No, you go first.
Oh, damn it. Well, so here's the thing, right? I guess it depends on what we're talking about. If we're talking about computer technology, if we were significantly behind the 8 ball as far as technology, we wouldn't be able to talk with the East or the West. We'd be so outdated that, and plus all these companies that are actually moving to the Houston area, the DFW area, the Austin area, they'd be like, well, no, we can't move and relocate all of our operations here because, everything's so slow, it's antiquated, it's not compatible with what we're doing. Those companies that are on the East and West Coast now wouldn't be able to come here. They'd be like, no, sorry, you guys can't. It'd be like me saying that, what do you mean all you guys still have is dial-up? I still got to use a modem to get on the internet over there? No, I'm not coming. So, from that standpoint, I don't know that it's that big of a player unless you have some specific example of something. Maybe why are there more EV cars on the West Coast versus here? Something like that. Maybe it's because gasoline is way more expensive over there than it is here.
You can't compare anything to California, right? What they do, but I would agree with you on that. I mean, we're a 30 million person state, growing like crazy. There's corporations moving here every day. If we weren't up to speed in technology, no one would move here.
Yeah.
This isn't like a Wisconsin. I mean, like a North Dakota where there's 500,000 people. It's a little bit different here.
Yeah. Well, so I'm going to answer. My perspective is in terms of, from a recruiter perspective, is looking at cities from a staffing and employee pool skills pool perspective, and Texas is one of the most forward technology pools of prospective employees out there. So I would challenge that statement, Dean. And I know you say, "Oh, I'm old, and that's why I'm asking." But Dell, I mean, is headquartered in Austin, right? There's a lot of technology companies, a lot of companies that rely heavily on technology that are moving to the Dallas-Fort Worth area, for example,
Yeah.
to Houston,
Yeah.
to San Antonio. So there's a lot of technology here. Just because it's not quote called Silicon Valley, we don't have the sexy name. Don't misunderrepresent Texas as a huge talent pool, and that's why I would argue that we are probably one of the most pro business and
Yes.
pro technology employment and industry in general.
Yep.
Just waiting for
And
all that
of
technology love to go down to South Texas, into the RGV Valley. So, maybe my dad's request that I move back home someday become a reality.
Okay, well, I do have to say a shout out to my alma mater, Texas A&M University. Hey, whoop! Yeah, we're doing some great things. I know we're amazing.
big M,
Giga
big M.
Maggies. All right, guys. Well, oh my gosh, I'm telling you, we could do a series of this. I just want to thank you so much for the time. I know we've gone over a few more minutes just to say our goodbyes, and we'll call it a day. Mike, how can people find you? And just yeah, where can they find you?
Well, I'm on LinkedIn. I'm one of the few Maderos in the country, so just look for the big smiley bald guy on LinkedIn. That's probably me.
Amazing. Okay. All right, Paul.
Yeah, so like Mike, I'm on LinkedIn. You could find me there, and I also work for a company called Prescriptive Data Solutions, IT consulting company. It's prescriptive dot solutions. So go there. You find me. You find my podcast embedded in the company website. So you know,
I was gonna say, by the way, I love the name of your podcast. Okay, it's like Business Brains and the Bottom Line.
that was Sia's idea. I can't
Oh,
I can't take any credit for anything because she's the one. She wanted me to wear the hat, the glasses, the name. I just basically do what she tells me. I just she slaps me around. I follow orders, and
I don't know if doing these things is as much fun as the last couple I've done. See, you're gonna have to get me my own show as well.
heck
Hey,
yes!
I don't know
Yay!
what I'm gonna do on there besides
so,
smile
and on a
and talk
very
to people.
serious note, I'll finish with this. I joke with C a lot, but she really was instrumental in me starting when COVID. She had told me to do it before COVID, and then when COVID started, she called me up and said, "Look, if we're going to be home for a while, you got to build your brand. There's no other salespeople in Dallas Fort Worth. I think you should do it." And I did, and I got to admit, it took her several calls because she knew I was hesitant. And she kept saying, "Paul, you got this. You can do it." And if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be doing this. So I just want to be completely transparent that I owe a lot of it to her. She's been great, and she produces all my shows, gets me a lot of guests, and just becomes such a great friend.
Well, you're not alone in that sentiment,
Yeah,
Paul. Sia is a superwoman, and she is the reason why so many of us are out there putting ourselves out there for good,
yeah.
for the greater good. That sounds so cold, like, but no, but it's the truth. But everybody connect with Paul. Tune in into his podcast. He has amazing guests. We'll be guesting in a few months as well.
Yeah, we're
So,
trying to get you on the show too. So
oh, I'm gonna be there. Trust me. Especially if as long as you wear your hat swag, we're there. But anyhow, guys, thank you so much, gentlemen. Hang in the background while we see and I close it out. Thank you so much for being here, and I appreciate it and valued everything y'all had to say. I learned. So hang in the background for a little bit while we close it out. Oh my goodness, there we go. See ya.
how you feeling, girl?
Oh my gosh,
Do you feel better?
I'm better. I'm a little overwhelmed, and I think I'm gonna have to go get like some massage on my frowns because as I learn, I frown a lot. So I'm just like, Mike has called me out on it so many times. He's like, "You have such a serious face." I'm like, "Dude, I'm focused. I'm learning." So I was able to intake so much of that information, so many tidbits here and there that I didn't know before, but I do know I walk away with knowing that just learning and empowering ourselves to educate ourselves is the best tool that we can have. The best hack, the best gadget, however you want to say it, is really taking a step forward and doing our due diligence. educating ourselves, informing ourselves. So if there's any parting words of wisdom that I can impart onto y'all today, educate, seek information, because in that information, it's the wealth of knowledge that is going to go up here and you're going to be able to apply it. These gentlemen were amazing today. I think we will do a part 2 just because there's so much that was left untapped. And I know, Sia, you have so much to say, but see, it's just one of those things that, I learn each and every day from the people who I'm surrounding myself with. And the same thing is I tell people, make sure you find your niche. Get in a community where you feel the same feelings of empowerment, nurturing. I call it a nurturing ecosystem, by the way. And Sia, Mike, everybody in the house, they provide that for me on a daily basis. So I want to thank everyone. I want to thank our guests. Thank you, audience, for hanging out. I know we're 15 minutes way past the show, but to see that you guys are still here, that tells me we're doing something right. And that's why I want to be able to show up here every single weekend for y'all, to bring value, to give you as much as you need in order to propel you to the next level. Level up, Dr. Constance CJ. I love you, love you. All right, I'm going to close it out. Stay tuned next weekend. We have a very, very special series. It's for Father's Day. I will have Dr. Brian Segre again and Janice Chokre to tell us about her story, about why she started this the whole thing of Tossie Brands, and it was based on her father. So it's going to be an emotional one, y'all, and it's a tribute to our fathers. So I love you guys. Stick around, for the other events that are here on Saturdays. And also don't forget to connect with everyone in the comments. That this is why we're here, to connect with one another, build a community. Okay. I love you. I look forward to being in the comments with y'all, replying, connecting, networking, because that is what we need to do. I love you. Thank you so much and enjoy the rest of your Saturday. Roll the outro, madame. Love you. Thanks for joining us, and I hope our chat inspired you to make a new connection. Please like and subscribe, and let's build a great community in our little corner, where we get serious business done by injecting fun. Thanks for tuning in, and until next time, come back to Raquel's Connection Corner.